Good morning friends. My name is Deepak Sharma and today we discuss about the damped free vibration of single degree of freedom system. So let's start. First we discuss about its introduction. In general, physical systems are associated with one or the other type of damping. In certain cases, the amount of damping may be small or in other cases large. When damped free vibration takes place, the amplitude of vibration gradually becomes small and finally is completely lost. The rate at which the amplitude decays depends upon the type and amount of damping in the system. The primary aspects of damped free vibration are following: the frequency of the damped oscillations and the rate of decay. Now we discuss about the different types of damping. The damping in a physical system may be one of the several types. Following are some important types of damping. First we discuss about the viscous damping. It is the most commonly used damping mechanism in vibration analysis. When mechanical systems vibrate in a fluid medium such as air, gas, water or oil, the resistance offered by the fluid to the moving body causes energy to be dissipated. In this case, the amount of dissipated energy depends on many factors such as size and shape of the vibrating body, the viscosity of the fluid, the frequency of the vibration, and velocity of the vibrating body. In viscous damping, the damping is proportional to the velocity of the vibrating body. There are some typical examples of viscous fluid damping are like the fluid film between sliding surfaces, fluid flow around a piston in a cylinder, etc. Now, second is Coulomb damping. Here the damping force is constant in magnitude but opposite in direction to that of the motion of the body. It is caused by the friction between rubbing surfaces that either are dry or have insufficient lubricant. Third is structural damping. When a material is deformed, energy is absorbed and dissipated by the material. The effect is due to friction between the internal planes which slip or slide as the deformation takes place. When a body having material damping is subjected to vibration, the stress strain diagram shows a hysteresis loop. The area of this loop denotes the energy lost per unit volume of the body per cycle due to damping. Now the fourth one is slip or interfacial damping. Micro slip occurs on the interfaces of machine elements in contact under fluctuating loads. The amount of damping depends upon the material combination, surface roughness at interface, contact pressure and the amplitude of vibration. Now we discuss about the differential equation of free damped vibration. For deriving the differential equation of free damped vibration, let us consider a system as shown in the figure. In this study of vibration, the process of energy dissipation is generally referred to as damping. The most common phenomena of energy dissipating elements, viscous damping, also called dashpot, viscous damping force. It is proportional to the viscous velocity x dot of the mass and acts in the direction opposite to the velocity of the mass m. It can be expressed as F is equals to C x dot as shown in the equation number 1, where C is the damping coefficient of viscous damping. The free body diagram of the system can be represented by the following diagram. Can be represented by the following diagram. Now applying Newton's second law, which shows that mx double dot, which is equals to minus k delta plus x plus mg plus c x dot. Now if we balance this equation, then get the final equation of differential equation of this system as shown in the equation number 2, mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx, or shown by the equation number 3 in the other form. Now the equation 3 is the differential equation form of motion for free vibration of a damped spring mass system. Assuming a solution in the form x is equals to c e की power s xt to obtain the auxiliary equation e की power st. Now auxiliary equation and put the value of x dot and x double dot in the equation number 3 and get the equation number 4. Now this equation 4 has two roots as shown in the equation number 5. Now the solution of equation number 5 takes one of the three forms depending on whether the quantity as shown in the slide is 0, positive or negative. That means if c square oblique c oblique 2m का whole square minus k by m is equals to 0, that means omega n is equals to under root k by m, which is equals to c by 2m. That means c is equals to 2m omega n as shown in the equation number 6, where c is the coefficient of coefficient of damping, in which case we have repeated roots. C S1 is equals to S2 is equals to minus ka C oblique 2m, and the solution of the equation is as shown by the equation number 7. Now in the particular case, the damping constant or coefficient is called critical damping constant, denoted by the equation number 8, and equation number 4 may be written in the following form as shown by the equation number 9, or the roots is shown by the equation number 9, where omega n is the under root k by m circular frequency of the corresponding undamped system, and zeta is equals to c by cc c oblique 2m omega n as shown in the equation number 10, where zeta is equals to damping factor. Now we discuss about the different cases. First case, when damping factor or damping ratio is less than 1. When damping ratio is less than 1, then both the roots of equation 9 are imaginary, and which is given by the equation number 11, and the solution of the motion is given by the solution of the equation of motion is given by the equation number 12. When omega d is equals to damped circular frequency, which is always less than omega n. Phi is equals to phase angle of damped oscillations. The function is a harmonic function whose amplitude decays exponentially with time. The function is a non-harmonic function whose amplitude decays exponentially with time. The general form of motion as shown in the figure, and the system is said to be under damped system, and the function is a harmonic function. Case 2, when zeta is equals to 1 or c is equals to cc is equals to 2m. That means damping ratio is equals to 1. That means coefficient of damping is equals to the critical coefficient of damping. The damping coefficient is equal to the critical damping coefficient, and the system is called the critically damped. The displacement equation of 7 can now written in the following form as shown in the equation number 12, and the solution of the above equation is the product of linear function of time and decaying exponentially as shown by the graph. Now we discuss about the case third, when zeta is greater than 1. That means coefficient of damping is greater than the critical coefficient of damping. Then the both roots are equal, real, and which are given by the following relation. Since under root zeta square minus 1 is less than zeta, that means it can be seen that the both S1 and S2 are negative, so that the displacement is the sum of the two decaying exponential given by the following form as shown by the equation number 14, and the graph is shown following. The motion will be non-oscillating as shown in the figure. Now we discuss about the logarithmic decrement. The logarithmic decrement represents the rate at which the amplitude of a free damped vibration decreases. It is defined as the ratio of any two successive amplitudes on the same side of the mean line, as shown in the figure. In the other words, we can say that it is defined as the natural logarithmic of the ratio of any two successive amplitudes. The displacement of an underdamped system is a sinusoidal oscillations with decaying amplitude as shown in the figure. The ratio of sinusoidal amplitude is shown by the following relation as shown by the equation. Here, so xi oblique xi plus 1 is equals to e की power zeta omega n tau d. Now substituting tau d is equals to 2 pi omega t and get the new equation as shown by the following equation. Now for small damping, the value of zeta is shown by the following equation. If zeta is small, then delta is equals to 2 pi zeta, since 1 minus zeta under root 1 minus zeta square is nearly equals to 1. From equation we have delta is equals to 2 pi zeta oblique under root 1 minus zeta square, or zeta is equals to delta into 1 minus zeta square oblique 2 pi. So delta square is equals to zeta square is equals to delta square 1 minus zeta square oblique 2 pi square, and by mathematical procedure we get the equation of we get the value of zeta as shown in the equation number 4. So zeta is equals to delta oblique under root 2 pi square plus delta square. For small damping coefficient, zeta is equals for small damping, zeta is equals to delta oblique 2 pi as shown in equation, as shown the relation. Logarithmic decrement can also be calculated from the ratio of amplitude of several cycles apart. Thus, if xn is the amplitude of n cycles after x0, then x0 by xn is equals to x0 by x1 dot x1 by x2 dot x0 by x3 and dot 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 xn minus 1 oblique xn, which is equals to x not xi oblique xj oblique xj plus 1 की whole power n. Natural log of ratio, now taking the natural log on both sides and get the equation number 6. So delta is equals to 1 by n log x0 by xn, x shown by the equation number 7. So logarithmic decrement delta can be obtained from the amplitude loss occurring over several cycles, where n is equals to 1 upon delta log x0 by xn, which is equals to under root 1 minus zeta square oblique 2 pi zeta log x0 by xn as shown in equation number 8. Equation number 8 is used to determine number of cycles required for a given system to reach a specified reduction in amplitude. Thank you.